Hello students, I'm Shaila, your psychology teacher. Today we are going to understand about self and personality chapter 2 psychology class 12. Students, as you have already understood about the self, what the self is, or our thoughts, our feelings, our perception makes us ourself. Now let us understand about personality. The word personality has been derived from a Latin word persona. And what is persona? Persona is the mask that was used by the actors in the Roman theatre. Whenever there was an actor who had to play one character, he used to wear a mask of that character, and it was assumed that he will take the personality of that character by wearing that mask. Similarly, for every individual, there is a different personality type. Every individual is different from other in his or her personality. That is why it was inspired from the word persona and the word personality was derived. Now students, what is personality? The consistency in behavior, thought and emotions of an individual across situation and across time periods characterize his personality. That means the way a person deals, the way a person behaves and thinks is not going to change over the situation. That with you I am like that, and with another person I am like that. No, my basic personality is going to be same. Like Gandhiji, Gandhiji always tried non-violence, right? Until the end of his life, his mission was non-violence only. His personality never changed under any kind of circumstances. His stance was always same because the personality is one and it remains same across the time periods and across the situations. For example, an honest person is more likely to remain honest irrespective of time and situation. Let us take one example from our Indian mythology, that is Raja Harishchandra. We have heard so many stories about him, and he had remained truthful throughout his life, whatever may the circumstances and whatever may the situations. He has uh, give he has been under so much stress. Then also he has been always truthful when he could say a lie and come out of the situation very nicely. But he was an honest man and he remained honest, right students? So this is the example, Gandhian personality, truthful personality, right? Now, what are the characteristics of the personality? First is personality is to be understood by the physical and psychological component both. See, the way you present yourself, the way you walk, the way you sit, the aggression or the simplicity or uh, the flourishness, the way you speak, everything tells a person about your personality. That is why we say the first impression is the last impression. The first impression is made by the way you carry your physical self, right? The way you dress up, the way you keep your hair, the way you are going to carry your body. It is all your physical concept. And the way you think and the behavior and the way you perceive the things is a psychological component. Both together becomes your personality. So we cannot ignore one and emphasize on the another. So if we have to talk about the totality of personality, physical aspects as well as psychological aspects are observed. That is why during the interview, during the important things, we say dress up according to the requirement, right? Its expression in terms of behavior is fairly unique in a given individual, right? The personality is different. So if you are going to behave, it will be different. It will be unique. That will be only you, right? Its main features do not easily change with time. We are saying do not easily change. We are not saying it is not changeable. It is dynamic, but it does not change without an effort. Okay, it will remain same as per se. But if we make an effort, if we are under internal or external situational demands, then the personality is adaptive to the situations. See, if internally I feel this is not good aspect of my personality, if I work on it, yes, then my personality is changeable, but not 100%. There will be the traces of my old personality, but because of the situation, internal demands, or due to the external demands, there may be change in the personality, right? For example, if a person is very aggressive and he is in front of his boss, now that person is aggressive. If he is at home, he may hit his wife, he may hit his children, right? But will he hit his boss? No, he will not, because he know that if he does that, he will lose his job. So he will be meek. He will feel bad inside. He will want to be aggressive from inside, but because of the external situation demands, he will not show that aspect of his personality, and he will listen nicely. Okay, so this because of the situational demands, the personality of that individual changed in that situation. Understood, students? So the internal and the external situational demands can help us to change our personality. It is dynamic, but it does not change itself over the time. Personality related terms. To understand personality, we need to understand various terms. First is temperament. What is temperament? Temperament is biologically based characteristic way of reacting. See, biologically we are made from different chemicals and different aspects, and it is said that an individual's temperament remains same. It is biologically based, right? Different theorists have different temperaments of an individual. It may be anger, it may be very sad, or something like that. That person biologically is components are such that he remains in that situation only. It is the way he is going to react. Now, what are traits? Traits are the stable, persistent, specific way of behaving. The way we behave in a situation, they are stable, they do not change. Okay. And what is the disposition? Disposition is the tendency of a person to react in a given situation in a particular way. Now, if a person is very aggressive, his disposition will be to shout, to be very angry and very unstable, that what is happening and what is not done. This is the way he is going to react in all the situations. And this is disposition. What is the character? The overall pattern of regularly occurring behavior is our character. See, the things can change according to the situation, but the character of an individual will remain same throughout the situations. So it is the overall pattern. And the habit are the learned modes of behavior. Due to the learning, we keep on repeating few things, and it becomes our habit, and it becomes the part of our personality because they are learned, right? And the values are those aspects that we get from the family, from the society. They are the goals and ideals that are considered important and worthwhile to achieve. It may be different for different individuals, different societies, different households. These are achieved after we are born. We develop our values, we develop our ideals, we develop our goals. We explore the world gives us ideas, and these values are developed. Right? There are main three approaches to study the personality. First is the type approach. Type approach attempts to comprehend human personality by examining certain broad patterns in the observed behavior characteristics of individuals. They make the broad characteristics. This is a very broad perspective of the personality, like Gandhinian personality. If a person is meek, if a person is does not like violence, we say you are type of a Gandhinian personality. This is a broad aspect, broad perspective, in which we don't consider the minor things. We see the broad pattern and we make the characterization according to those broad patterns. This is known as type approach. Okay, we put them in one type. Now next came the trait approaches. Traits, as you already know, they are the stable, consistent way of behaving. Now trait approaches focuses on the specific psychological attributes along which individuals tend to differ in consistent and stable way. For example, I am calm or I am outgoing. So that are my traits. And how a person differ in these traits, specific attributes, that is studied in the trait approach. They dismiss the types. They say that according to types we can't understand the personality whole. To understand the personality totally, we need to understand the psychological attributes. So they try to understand the traits of an individual. Now, last but not the least is the interactional approach. Interactional approach that the situational characteristics play an important role in determining our behavior. That means the way we interact with the society, the way we are going to do the things in the society, it is going to affect us, right? And it is going to color our vision, it is going to color our personality, it is going to color the way we are going to behave. And if we are going to behave differently, that means our personality is going to take a turn. So interaction approach takes the components of the situational factors also into the consideration, which were ignored before. Now students, let us understand how the people have made an efforts to characterize the people in different types during the ancient times, right? And these categories comes in under the type approach. Type approaches, the first one is the Greek physician Hippocrates. He proposed a typology of personality based on fluid or humor. He characterized people into four types: sanguine, phlegmatic, melancholic, and colic. Now try to understand this, that the person who is sanguine will be sociable, outgoing, talkative, whereas phlegmatic personality will be very passive, thoughtful, peaceful, right? He is not going to talk too much. He is even tempered person, phlegmatic. Whereas melancholic will be moody, anxious, reserved, and unsociable. Now you think about it. Whereas sanguine is easygoing, phlegmatic is even tempered, and melancholic is unsociable. And colic is always touchy, restless, aggressive, impulsive, and very active. So these types of personality is according to the humors, right? He said, Hippocrates said that the body is made up of fluids, and the way the fluids interact, the balance between them makes these four types of personality, right? To understand this more, let us understand that these types of personality characterize the behavioral features of each individual. Now in India also, Charak Samhita, a famous treasury on Ayurveda, classifies people into categories like Vat, Pitta and Kalf. The people in Vat, Pitta and Kalf have different characteristics, and according to that, their diet should be also different according to Ayurveda. Now these are the three doshas. Ayurveda has also given us three gunas. What are the three gunas? They are sattva, rajas, and tamas. Now you can consider Sattva personality as Raja Ram Bhagwan. What were the characteristics of Ram Bhagwan? He was disciplined, he was trustworthy, he was truthful, he was disciplined, he was very, very patient. These are the characteristics of the Sattva man. Now, if I considered Rajas, I will compare this personality like Raja Akbar. What was Akbar? What were the characteristics of Akbar, Emperor Akbar? He was like always on the go. He was always on the go to conquer one state, one country, one region from the another. And if he wants something, he will go for it and conquer it. Now, what are these characteristics? First is envy, intensive activity. Next is always busy, never satisfied. And they want instant gratification of the desires, right? If they want one country, one region, they will go for it and get it that moment only. Similarly, the people who has Rajas personality will go for their goals and they will not care what has happened in the achievement of the goals. Tamas. Tamas are the lazy people. They are always affected by the anger. They are not able to complete their work so nicely because they are always lazy. They always show laziness. They always show indiscipline. Now these personality types have colored the way we see the look at the people, the way we perceive the personalities of the people, and it has also helped us to understand the different characteristics of the people. Next is the personality types given by Sheldon. Sheldon was using the body build and temperament as the basis of the personality types. According to her, the endomorphs were the fat, soft, and round people. And these fat, soft, and round people are temperamentally very soft and relaxed. They are very approachable. We can approach these people very nice, very easily. And they tend to be very friendly. Next is mesomorphs. Mesomorphs have very strong musculature, like their muscles are very built. Okay, they have rectangular body type. Their face is also rectangular. They are very energetic and courageous. They are more of a warriors. Okay. Now the third type that Sheldon gave was ectomorph. Ectomorphs are thin, long, fragile in body types. They are considered to be brainy and artistic, as well as introvert. They do not mingle with others very easily. To understand them, you can see the picture over here. Ectomorphs are slim, they are artistic, like M.F. Hussain, introverts, and the brainy types like Einstein. He was also very tall and thin. Mesomorphs are considered to be warriors, soldiers. Their personality is rectangular, very hard built, very muscular, and endomorphs are soft and sweet people. So, students, I hope you have understood the trait types, trait approaches that we have discussed today. We will discuss more trait approaches in our next class.